Peace and blessings of God be on you. Today we're going to do question number 6. If fate is predetermined, then how are we responsible for our actions? Before answering this question, let me first explain the claim that I'm going to defend. The claim is that God knows what a person is going to do in the future. This is what I call fate. This does not mean that the person does that thing because God wants him or her to do it. The following example will illustrate my point. Suppose a teacher takes a lot of interest in the education of his students. He can try his best to teach his pupils well. If he's a very good teacher and also a very wise person, he has a good idea of how his students are going to perform in a certain exam, even before they have taken it. He can predict quite accurately as to which student is going to pass and which is going to fail, because he has a good knowledge of how much work and effort everyone is putting in and where they stand in terms of their preparation. So you can tell quite accurately what grade student X is going to get. But does that mean that student X gets that grade because the teacher wants it? Or because the teacher is forcing that grade on the student? The wiser and more knowledgeable the teacher is, the more likely it is that his guess will be correct. But still, it won't mean that it is he who is making the student get that grade. It's the student's own doing. The teacher merely has a knowledge of it. Now, God is wise to perfection, and his knowledge of the future is also complete. But does that mean that he forces anybody to do the things that they do? Another thing to keep in mind is that human beings have freedom only to a limited extent. And it is only within this small sphere that they are held responsible for their actions. For example, while standing on ground, you have the freedom to lift one foot off the ground and still be able to stand, but it is not possible for you to lift both feet off the ground for more than a few seconds. That illustrates that our freedom is limited. So, for example, if we see a person whom we find ugly, it may not be possible for us to stop thinking that he's ugly. And therefore, we are not accountable to God for our thoughts. We won't be punished for thinking that that person is ugly, if that is what we honestly think. But we definitely have control over what we say or not say to him about it. So while it's not a sin to think in our minds that the person is ugly, but it is a sin to tell him that you think that he's ugly. We should, of course, never lie, but we always have the option to not say anything. Therefore, our accountability is not on our thoughts, but it is on what we say and do. That ends question number 6. Next time, we will do question number 7, which says, what are angels and what is the proof of their existence? God bless you.